a bar course. So I'm an advocate, I'm a teacher, I'm a manager, I'm an administrator. Hudu represents wealth creation because the challenges we are facing as a country, and the Northern Division is not an exception, is joblessness. As we are all aware, the white-collar jobs are not enough, and we are supposed to help our people to start up a business, have at least something to enable them earn a living. I'm looking at skill-based trainings that are tailor-made to Northern Division and the entrepreneurial support. For instance, you will find that the supermarkets of Mbale City are flooded with bread from Kampala, with bar soap from Kampala, with all sorts of things that can equally be done in Mbale City. You don't need a degree. Even a P2 dropout can be taught how to make bread and be able to sell to the people. You don't need even a senior 4 dropout. You don't need a degree to learn how to make soap. You don't need a degree to learn to do skill-based trainings that are tailored to Mbale Northern Division. So that's where I'm focusing on. But to put that aside, you are aware that as flag bearers or as NRMPs, the National Resistance Movement presented a manifesto. And it is the NRM manifesto that we are supposed to implement. And there are details therein on job creation, wealth creation, roads, schools, and others. But with special attention, for my case, on skill-based trainings and entrepreneurial support.
Okay, thank you. Wanyoto Paul, you have 2 minutes to give an introduction of who you are and what you represent.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Paul Mugoya Wanyoto. I am an advocate of the High Court of Uganda. I practice law in the city of Kampala. I am the chairman of the Mbale City Land Board, the city of concern tonight before the viewers. I stand as a candidate in Northern Division, aspiring for Member of Parliament to continue the good work I have been doing, improving access to justice, improving access to better health care, supporting the youth and women, and supporting enterprises, small, medium enterprises, to harness a lot of opportunities to grow the city in more than one ways. And I stand here today to speak to my people, to thank them for thinking with me for the last many years we've been together. I'm born and bred there, so I know their issues and challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mukoni Moses, you have 2 minutes.
Canary. Good evening, viewers. My name is One Moses Michael. I'm a Mugisu by tribe, Christian. I'm a married man, born and bred from Mbale, to be specific, in Kolonyi. I have studied in Mbale. I've also had part of my work tenure in Mbale. And during the course of those dynamics, I've witnessed the plight of the youth, specifically to state them not having jobs. I've also seen the scourge of substance abuse, to illustrate further that drug abuse and alcohol abuse, for simple reasons of them not having employment. I've seen our young sisters experiencing teenage pregnancy at very early years, several widows suffering to make ends meet with their families. The list goes on and on. And that exactly shapes my understanding, informs my purpose of being here, and that's why I seek the mandate of the people of Northern Division, Mbale City, to represent them, because nobody understands them better like I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Masaba, Ivan, you have 2 minutes to introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Canary. I'm Ivan Masaba, the official National Unity Platform flag bearer for MP Northern State Division. I hold a bachelor's degree of procurement and logistics from the IUIU. I also hold a postgraduate diploma from the UMI in transport and logistics. I also hold a certificate of oil and gas supply chain management from the BR Oil and Gas Institute at Bugolobi. I am married with children, at least to be specific, 3. I come based on the principle of bridging the gap between a leader and the voters for servanthood leadership. I come with a wide spectrum of knowledge on how to represent our people, how to lobby, how to offer oversight, and how to also work with the youth on how to improve their livelihood. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, but not least, Nangoli Umar.
Thank you very much, Canada. My name is Haji Umar Nangoli, the People's Flag Bearer of Northern Division. I am a teacher by profession. I have a diploma in education. I have a bachelor's in education. I have a master's in education management and planning. I also hold a diploma in journalism, specializing in war journalism. I am currently a candidate in Northern Division, Mbale, and my manifesto is hinged on infrastructure development, because I run a foundation called Nangoli Umar Foundation, which has worked with the people of Mbale since the time I was RDC. I have constructed bridges for people in those days when I was RDC. I have worked with women groups. I've worked with youth groups. So I best qualify to represent the people of Northern Division based on the experience I have as the RDC in Mbale. I have done what it deserves to really better the lives of the people of Mbale. That's why I'm their favorite choice. And come 2026, 15th January, I am going to be voted Member of Parliament for Northern Division. Mbale.
Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get into the questions. They will run from infrastructure to education to health and many other issues that are affecting Mbale City Northern Division. And I'll begin with you, Masaba Ivan. You previously contested and lost this seat, that is in 2021. What has structurally changed in your campaign this time around?
To be more clear, or a point of correction, I didn't lose, I won. But they failed to declare me, and they declared the 4th person, who has actually shied from appearing on this panel, because I know he knows I'm around. And what has changed? Of course, the approach hasn't totally changed. What should change is government to take the army out of the politics. Because why I wasn't declared is not because I failed or I did not win. It is the army which commanded that I should not be declared, and an NRM candidate that would be declared at then. But I guarantee you this won't happen again.
Hudu, I'll come to you. Your nomination followed a contested NRM primary tribunal decision. How will you restore trust among your party supporters who felt alienated then?
Thank you very much. First of all, there is no distrust whatsoever, because the voters know what exactly happened and they know we won that election. In fact, some media houses that very evening had already declared me. But to the surprise of many, when we reached the tally center, the results were altered, tampered with. You reach a polling station that has 300 registered voters, but you notice that your opponent claims he scored 500 votes, meaning the 200 were stolen votes. I have DR forms here where my colleague got 82 votes in cells like Edoko, but they indicated that he got 200 282. They put a 2, they added a 2 to make it 282. There is a cell where he got 43 votes, and they squeezed the 1 to make it 143. So when all these stolen votes were removed by the tribunal in his presence, and our lawyers, I emerged victorious and reclaimed my flag. Therefore, the voters know exactly what happened, and they are not surprised at all. So we're on track to take the flag to Parliament, and God willing, we shall take it to Parliament.
Right. Umar, I'll come to you. You were in the lead before Hudu emerged. What exactly happened that evening?
Thank you very much. I was the rightful emerger of that victory. I took the day, and my colleague went to the tribunal. He went and petitioned. What he petitioned was actually not what was used to fraudulently declare him winner. He petitioned for a place called Doko. He petitioned for a place called the Namanyonyi, that is Chinyoli A and Chinyoli B. That was what was in his petition. But because of corruption that was daringly exhibited in the tribunal, he put in an addendum, which addendum they did not serve us. He put in an addendum for Namawasa 3A and Hiumbire. Now they still put in an addendum. They claimed that the votes in those 2 polling stations were over and above the register. So what I did when I received that, I quickly, through my lawyer, put in a request for review. Now, we put in a request for review thinking that the tribunal actually erroneously mentioned that these 2 polling stations were over and above, the votes were over and above the register. We presented the registers because they had jointly sued us. He had put in a petition. He petitioned against the NRM Electoral Commission and the Umar Nangoli. So when we requested the Electoral Commission to give us registers, original, we presented them to the tribunal. Later, because of a lot of pressure we mounted, they gave us a response and said, we are sorry, you are right. I have the response. You are right, but you are time bad. What you are stating and what we have seen in the tribunal.
That's a misrepresentation
yes.
of facts.
No.
Can he share that response physically?
I'll share with you the tribunal.
No, show it to the public. They are watching.
I am not an angel. I am not a prophet.
Show that response to the public.
No.
Because they are watching. Don't show that person. Show the public.
Part of the debate rules was no interruption.
Okay. Yeah, you see, they gave us instructions, but you can see he's already going against the instructions. That is his nature. Let me tell you, I have the original declaration, the registers in my car. I'm going to give you copies as a journalist. He's having a flag fraudulently. Those 3 people in the tribunal were crooks. I am on camera. If they don't want me to call them crooks, let them sue me. Because I have evidence that they cheated for him.
You're blaming the tribunal?
The tribunal and him.
Interesting.
He's holding this flag erroneously. That's why wherever he goes, if you have been following, wherever he goes, and he mentions that I'm the flag bearer, he's booed, he's chased, it is on record.
Okay, thank you. Just the 2 gentlemen, before I move to you, I'll just give just 1 minute to Hudu for a right of reply, and then move on to the other questions.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, it is a misrepresentation of facts. I personally called my brother here, Umar Nangoli, to serve him, and I served the supplementary affidavit together with the main affidavit on the same day. And his lawyer, I even have a recording. Actually, my driver recorded me when I was serving that supplementary affidavit. It's on record. That's 1. 2, Honestly, we need to be leaders. Honorable Umar Nangoli, there are forms that I also have. Whatever he wants to share here, he should share it in my presence so that I also share what I have. You see, you are not going to win leadership through lies, because what I represented is what was shared in the tribunal. The DRR forms that he's talking about, I have them. And the voters know the violence, the intimidation that was exerted on many of my supporters. Many were not even allowed to line up. Wherever they would know that I am winning, they would cause chaos to fail the counting of such a right. And it's on record. He has said that the tribunal cheated. He has always said that even back home. But when we say, why don't you share that response from the tribunal when you requested for review? He doesn't share.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to chip in, but I acted as an observer because I knew I'm going to face these two brothers. These individuals, both of them need to be checked. Actually, if we're in a sane country, both of them would be in. The one who wrote the higher number of votes is the one who was declared. Then another went and crossed the other side to see that he gets into the position. So both of them are big thieves, and we are ready for them as the National Unity Platform in Ibugisu. And they clearly know they don't have any support on ground. So that is it. My brothers, you should be here knowing that things are going to be different.
Thank you. Paul, I'll come to you. You have legal expertise, and you have also experience in land conflicts. How does this expertise resolve land conflicts in such a flood-prone area?
I agree that I have expertise in land management by virtue of being a lawyer. I have been the chairman of the board in Mbale, and I've been technical person on the board. I've written before, I wrote about the need for a composition of the Disaster Preparedness and Management Commission. You see, Canary and the viewers, almost everything that happens has been planned before or has worked before. Our Constitution, under Article 249, actually provides for a composition of a Disaster Preparedness and Management Commission with a view to manage man-made disasters and natural disasters. And it goes further to propose the composition of the commission. Since the promulgation of the Constitution, the commission has now been set up. Sometime in 2019, I actually wrote to the speaker, then Speaker Rebecca Kadaga, requesting that the Parliament of Uganda does because in its composition, all these solutions would be found. But we have a small unit, I think it's a directorate or unit in the office of the Prime Minister, that fire brigades whenever we have natural disasters. It's a fire brigading unit in the office of the Prime Minister. We need a fully fledged commission with different experts to benchmark. These things have happened in China, they have happened in Brazil, they have happened in Venezuela, in America, and everywhere. And we can benchmark and do the silting, build dams, we do some bit of damming to manage waters, move people from one area to another, the settlements. And this is happening in Hudu to Bulambuli, and so on and so forth. But this can be managed with a small unit in the office of the Prime Minister. My view still stands that should it happen, like it's going to happen, and I am the next member of Parliament for Northern Division, one of my key legislative agenda is to push and activate Article 249 of the Constitution.
Okay.
So that
in that particular regard, under your leadership, we've seen allegations of fraudulent land titles, land grabbing, including public land. I know of some clans that have clashed with Mbale authorities over government land, barracks land. We've seen historic land disputes of different clans. What exactly is the problem here?
The problem
Why is Mbale city tied into
the problem is
clans?
beyond the clans or the people that fight. The problem is administrative in nature. And we push this back to the Ministry of Lands in the Office of the Registration of Titles, Register of Titles. Fraud can't succeed if the ministry doesn't support it. We've had so many changes in the administration of land. We have had new systems set up where it's almost impossible to have more than one title. But they are still happening, it's still happening. So it's beyond the management of land at the board or beyond the clans fighting for the land.
Okay.
It goes across to the Ministry of Lands and Management, Administration.
Thank you, Paul. Moses, I'll come to you. What is going to be your emergency flood response plan? Leaders that have come before you have stated plans on how they're going to manage this, but people still lose lives, property, and they end up like refugees in their own country. What is going to be your emergency flood response plan?
Thank you, Canary. For starters, I will earmark those areas which are affected by floods, conduct what they call sensitization of the populace which is around there, so that you equip them with the knowledge and skills and the adaptability on how to deal with such eventualities when they happen. But secondly, that would be waiting for it to happen and then they use the knowledge. We don't want that. So it means we would engage the geologists, the meteorologists. I believe some of them are stationed in Entebbe, such that we can have what we call early warning systems. These are used in the developed countries which are attacked by huge waves of floods, such that they can get these indicators of certain floods coming in and these people can be moved earlier on. But better yet, in a preemptive move, we can have the government creating what we call preemptive solutions before these problems come by. What do I mean by that? I mean, we should relocate these people even before the floods come by. We should study the area. We should study the topography. We should have funds channeled through the office of the Prime Minister. Actually, it's one of the hugely funded dockets, such that we also have the requisite skills and personnel on ground to ensure that we minimize loss of lives, we minimize loss of infrastructure, which is taken to such places, and yet in a short while they will be subjected to those waves and destroyed. Okay. So my approach would be within those lanes. Okay. And furthermore,
Northern Division Mbale City remains largely unlit at night. What is your street lighting coverage target within 2 years, knowing how hard it is for opposition, like the National Unity Platform, is when it comes to lobbying from government?
First of all, you're not going to be in opposition forever. I would like to put it correctly to you that we are taking government come 15th. You understand? And I would love to inform you that we have a comprehensive plan on how to redefine every structure of this country. And Northern Division is not an exception. And all technocrats, all division mayors and mayors will have to account and will have to get to work, because money is always going to be disbursed to them and it has to do what is supposed to be done. Unlike now, where money is sent scientifically to be brought back to the treasury. Because how can you release money when it's almost the closure of a financial year? So now you're asking that it should come and then just bounce back. So with us, we are going to put things correctly as the government incoming.
Hudu, I'll come to you. You have about 17,000 residents lacking proper sanitation. What is going to be your sanitation plan? Do you have a housing policy that you intend to introduce on the floor of Parliament, or will you push for reforms when it comes to slum communities? What's your plan?
Thank you very much. Government already has a policy on sanitation. Under primary health care, every home is required to have a pit latrine. And as leaders, we are supposed to keep sensitizing the community on this. There are homesteads that are incapacitated in a number of things. Those can be helped out. Personally, I can reach out to NGOs and write proposals and invite them to come and help the community. As a former programs manager of an NGO about 10 years ago, I wrote proposals and helped some youth in Kampala here, took them to Uganda Rural Development Institute, URDTI in Kagadi, and taught them how to make sausages, how to make ice cream, how to make bread, skill-based trainings. Equally, the experience I bring as a former programs manager of such an NGO is to continue writing proposals to NGOs. As a former Secretary General of the NRM Youth League, I equally wrote proposals and reached out to foundations like the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung Foundations, and I moved the entire country. They supported me for about 4 years, training them on leadership qualities. So me, as a member of parliament, I cannot lie that I'm going to pick money from myself and help the communities, for example, those ones that are not able to handle primary health care challenges. But I can continue with the policy I've been using of writing proposals and inviting institutions, inviting NGOs to come and help the community. Again,
as NRM, you've been in power for now 40 years. How do you explain 17,000 people lacking improved toilets in Mbale City?
Of course, it's a challenge. It's a challenge that government is working on. Canada, you need to know that the rate at which the population in this country is growing is very high, that even development should move at an equal speed. There is no government in this world that can give and satisfy every corner in the country. So as a government, still you look at the resource envelope, but now with the with oil, I believe government is going to get extra revenue and therefore help such communities.
Okay.
Previously in 1986, you know, there were so many adjustments that were done, concentrating on corn, helping the economy to stabilize, to the extent that certain priorities were not handled. Today, corn is history, the economy is fairly stable, and such things are going to be considered, especially in the current NRA manifesto, and we shall ensure that that challenge is addressed.
Haj Umar, key bridges were washed away in 2022 and they have remained unrepaired. What is going to be your emergency reconstruction plan in 12 months once you're elected Member of Parliament?
Thank you very much, Honorable. Before I was nominated as a candidate for Northern Division, as I told you before, I run an NGO, a foundation, Umar Nangoli Foundation, which has been giving answers to these bridges problems. For example, I have, my foundation has laid...
Welcome to NBS Plus, where you take center stage. Be bold, be loud, be creative. From the hottest entertainment to the biggest stories to the boldest voices, this is your space, your vibe. No limits, no filters, just you living, creating and owning your moment. Only on NBS Plus. Simply download the Afro mobile app to enjoy all the vibes. NBS Plus, be you.
Moses, what's going to be, what employment model can absorb these unemployed youth?
Thank you, Canary. For starters, the population of Northern Division, you're looking at give or take around over 165,000. And if you are looking at specifically the docket where the youth are, you're looking at around over 60,000 youth who are under what you call the net rate, which is not in employment, not accessing education, and not indulging in any form of training. Now, with those indices and matrices, what we are supposed to do, I will use my core function as a member of parliament, which is legislation, to ensure that I espouse and promote pieces of legislation which will be able to create jobs on ground. What do I mean by this? by promoting privatization and liberalization of the economy, which is still a continued policy of the government, but meaning they should put in place more predictable tax regimes. They should put in place more tax holidays, and this will encourage more investors to come in and hence more jobs. What next? I will also use my cardinal function as a member of parliament, that is oversight. That role I will play honestly on government programs like Emyoga, like PDM, where monies are going down, but because people lack what you call financial literacy, they don't know what to use the money, and then in between there are bottlenecks called corruption. So all these with scrutiny and accountability oversight avenues, I believe when I close those gaps, I will be opening avenues for these youth to get the employment. Then I will go to the aspect of the dominance of the subsistence sector in Mbale, meaning several people are involved in this subsistence sector, which is basically survival. They grow to eat, but they lack the investment to push them from that avenue into a commercialized one. So still, we will channel monies there by engaging partners, let it be either international organizations or within government here of Uganda itself, all well-wishers. So long as I have the leadership, the capacity, and the mandate of the people, I will believe this will get down there, and we shall reduce that. Hence, even problems like the mental complications they are getting, the drug abuse ongoing, the domestic violence, which is on a skyrocket, and also the criminality will also be tilted on the other way around.
After annexation, extension services collapsed in places like Bukonde. How will you restore agriculture and community development services?
First of all, we have an issue of land in Bukonde. When you look at parishes of like Nanyuza, Bumuyaga, Bumuluya, and Bureta, the population is really high, and there is literally nothing that can be done to come up with something which can sustain people there. And I wanted to go to an issue, to talk about the issue of the industrial park. We have youth who come from up Bukonde to go to town and would wish to work in the industrial park, but the pays which are there is nothing that can sustain them. All right, beg your pardon.
No, it's all right. UG Votes 2026 debate takes a break. When we return, we'll look into issues of health, education. We also have psychological distress affecting, more than 12,000 young people in there, and also the agendas for Parliament for the candidates here. This is the debate on Northern Division, Mbale City. We'll be back.
In Uganda, a new generation is rising. Meet the young innovators transforming their nation. The Presidential Skilling Hubs, under the Presidential Initiative on Wealth and Job Creation, equip Uganda's youth with hands-on training and skills to succeed. Over 15,000 youth and women have been trained across 19 zonal hubs with 12,000 plus graduates annually. These young entrepreneurs are creating jobs and driving the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda agenda.
Nebaza President Museveni olw'okuggulawo Presidential Initiative in Scaling Boys
2026 to 2031. Secure your future by voting NRM. Protecting the gains.
your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Simply buy a Gaga bundle by dialing *100*0# and stand a chance to win a fully paid trip to Morocco. Gaga your way to Morocco with Uganda Cranes and MTN. Together, our fire is unstoppable. Fire! MTN. Terms and conditions apply. MTN Uganda is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Meet James. James has been searching for happiness for years. So we asked locals to point him to the source of their happiness. Until one fateful night, when his search finally came to an abrupt end. Find your happy place with GoTV. Get GoTV to enjoy a wide range of shows for the whole family. GoTV. Love it.
Energy for winners.
This is Uganda. This is home.
Brought to you by Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chibaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product, but at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1-acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
UG Votes 2026 debate, and we turn our focus tonight to Northern Division, that is Mbale City. And on the panel tonight, I'm hosting Hudu Hussein, who represents the NRM and is holding their flag, Masaba Ivan from the National Unity Platform and is holding their flag, and three independents, Nangoli Umar, who is an independent. We also have, of course, Mukone Moses Michael, who is an independent, and Wanyoto Paul Mogoye, who is an independent. Looking into the issues of Mbale City Northern Division, and in a bit the candidates will also be able to ask each other questions, and also our live audience will be able to ask questions. And I'll come to you, Haj Umar. Looking into issues of housing, there's a number of, because we see the urban expansion, but it is also unplanned in Mbale City. How are you going to fix that? Because it has now become a problem and there is a huge housing deficit.
There is a very big problem in Mbale City.
Welcome to NBS Plus, where you take center stage.
If you go to places like Nakaloke, like Ivukonde, Namabasa, you'll find that construction is not according to plan. Most of these buildings coming up do not even have structural designs. So my plan is we should make sure that whatever comes up in the city comes up according to the design. The County and Town Planning Board gazettes areas for residential, for commercial, for industry, but you find that things are mixed. There is no order. And Nangoli is out to bring some sanity and order as an ex-official in the council, in the city council.
Thanks. Ivan, do you think that those who have served in Mbale and are now standing have a role in the challenges of the constituency?
Yes, definitely. Because when you look around here, basically, all these individuals are fled to the system. So whatever challenges that we are facing, they are one of the architects who are trying to push the cause to see that we languish behind as Northern State Division. And I think the change in governance is what is going to cause a difference to the entire problems that we are facing as Northern State Division and Uganda in general.
And you think that National Unity Platform is best placed?
Exactly, because we have a well-laid 11 program priority that we've rolled out to the country.
All right, we've seen, of course, challenges in the past. You allege that your vote was rigged and you were not announced as winner in the 2021 elections. How prepared are you this time around to protect your vote?
We've come up with a robust team that is going to do a massive vote protection. And secondly, we're also advocating that the army should get out of the election. And thirdly, you see, you said for yourself, these two brothers are fighting about one stealing from the other. And the same, we pray, doesn't reach the other very side. And on top of that, we are cognizant that even if we go to the courts of law, we cannot find justice. Because I personally, I went to the High Court, I went to the Court of Appeal, I had used evidences of people who had died, but it was purported that they came and voted and went back to the grave. And I am lucky that my brother here also, he was one of the people who supported me with evidences. And I know he was very disappointed when I wasn't declared. But then, we have to push the narrative until we get the rule of law taking shape in the country. If we don't do that, then to hell.
Hudu, I want to ask, if you can have challenges, in protecting the vote when it comes to the NRM primaries, what do you think is going to happen on the wider election that is in the constituency level? How prepared are you to protect your vote? And what lessons have you picked from your past experience with the NRM primaries?
Now, this time we have 205 polling stations as opposed to 243 cells at that time. In the NRM, voting is conducted at every cell or at every village. But in the Electoral Commission, there is gazetting of a polling station and the number has reduced. I definitely have developed a team. I thought I was contesting with the gentlemen. I thought I was contesting with people who are going to exhibit leadership and who are ready to concede defeat. But I now understand the people I'm dealing with. There are people who can even sponsor people to shout at you so that they don't allow you to talk, to create an impression that you're not popular. So we are now more than prepared, and we are going to counter whatever machination they come up with, and therefore we are sure of the victory.
Paul, you have been around and you have seen the challenges when it comes to the voting, protecting the vote and everything that happens in Mbale City. What makes you leave your legal profession to go and get involved in a process that has had challenges in the past?
I love challenges. And where I see the challenge is where I go. I've done practice, I still do it, though I take a little backstage on it. I choose to go into the political arena because I feel like I should be able to serve my people better. I live in the community in Mbale often. And I've lived there more often the last 3 years since I became the chairperson of the land board there. I have synced and jailed with the people of Northern Division. They have cried to me, they have told me their problems. I have been in position to listen. I have solved some of them. I may not be in a position to solve all of them. But I think the solution will be in me taking the leadership. I would use my linkages at national level, international level, to be in a position to support the people at home who have so much trouble, ranging from the simplest of things to the widest of things. So I go there to serve people. I don't run away from my practice. I still do it, but I think I need a challenge, and leadership in Mbale is a challenge to me.
Ivan said that you supported him with evidence when he was going through his electoral petition. He was allegedly not announced as a candidate who had won. When you look at everything, and do you think that this is a process that you want to get involved in? And why don't you? I don't know whether you believe that he actually won in the 2021 election. Maybe you could have given him chance or supported him even more, pushed him to become MP.
In 2021, I didn't campaign. I threw my hat into the ring to see what happens in the political arena. Ivan, on the other side, traversed the constituency and campaigned, but unfortunately was not ready to protect his win. I was able to have agents at each polling station The evidence he speaks about is the evidence that I was able to share with him my declaration forms and much more of what I picked from the process. For your own information, after the process of the election, I never went to the tally center because I knew I had received way less votes than what had been announced as one leading. And at the time, I retreated to go back home to have a party. At the party, Ivan was leading. I'm one of the people who believe that he led until he could not protect his vote and it was taken away. I believe him. So, but that was then. I was new in the arena. I didn't know the terrain. Now I know it. So I think I'm going to win this time.
Right. Haji Umar, let me come to you. You've seen the challenges you've been through in the primaries. What is your worst fear? Especially, do you believe that there is proper institution, organization, order, and even capacity to organize a credible election?
I have a lot of faith in the people organizing these elections. Unlike in NRM, you see, I'm an NRM cadre, but I must confess that there are very many challenges in NRM primaries. I'll give one example. Where my young brother comes from, that is Bukonde sub-county. NRM as a party had 18,700 voters. That is one party. In Byabakama's register, Bukonde, when you combine NRM, NUP, FDC, and the other parties, there are 8,987 voters. He had in his sub-county 10,000 ghosts in NRM. So I am very confident that what he is proud of as having got 21,000 votes in Bukonde, he is not going to get that because now the reality has come to play. So you can see that I'm very confident. I have the register of the Byabakama team. I know there is no way he's going to again fraudulently get 10,000. Those ghosts are now gone. So I'm very confident that this time round he's going to face reality. And others are also going to face reality because nothing like going around, you say, now, how many votes should we give Nangoli? I have evidence where there is even a case in police where his agent, who happens to have been the chairman of LC1 in that cell, ordered my agent, we are giving you 2 votes. The people who turned up for that polling station were 36. The register had 312. But they said, we are giving you Nangoli 2 votes. We are giving, he says, we embed 40, and the rest we give to Honorable Hudu. My agent said, no, I don't want. The 36 who have appeared at the police station are the ones who are going to vote. He got slapped, he got kicked, and the case is at Makudui police station.
Okay,
These are issues.
So what, if true, what you're admitting is that one person can manipulate a process organized by an institution he cannot control.
Yes, but as I've said, I have a lot of confidence in Byabakama. I know he's going to organize a free and fair election is where I'm going to take the lead comfortably.
Maybe before I come to Moses, do you want to respond to that allegation that there was indeed a creation of 10,000 ghosts?
First of all, I think it's very important to check our track records, Canary, as leaders. My brother here contested in the Byabakama election, the previous election, and he was arrested. But he's saying that today he trusts him. He was arrested. He fought at the tally center. He's naturally a very violent man. Secondly, my brother here, he sold land belonging to one of the communities in Imbale, and he appeared before the Catherine. He appeared before the Catherine Bamugemerere committee, and Justice Catherine Bamugemere said, Honorable Nangoli, you don't deserve to hold any public office ever. It's on record. You just Google. And the president fired him based on that. Now, he can cook up a lie and appear to be holy Ask him why he lost the office of the RDC. He was fired. I resigned. So the issue of the primary elections was settled by the tribunal. If I choose to go into the details of what happened, you will notice that even the area where he claims to be popular, he has more registered voters than still the Byabakama register. So Honorable Nangoli, you know very well that even when you were an RDC in Mbale, when the Mbale Central Market was being sold, you ran away with the iron sheets. Plus the issue of the Bamugemerere Committee reports implicates him. So therefore, the voters know what's happening. People know what's happening in Northern Division. It's not a matter of talking here and say he was chased. We are on the ground. The voters are going to decide. But I want to request the voters to check my track record. As a guilty president of IUIU, as the RSS of Kampala, Canada was here. Did you hear any land saga? I was in Masaka as the RSC. Did you hear any land saga? As an RDC, I was even voted the best RDC. My track record is clean. When I was at the NRM Secretariat, as the head of youth and institutions, I wrote proposals. I moved the entire Uganda without even using Secretariat money, but using proposals to get money. I am a lobbyist. The youth who were demonstrating here walk to work. I mobilized 200 of them. I took them to Kagada and trained them, and they got off the streets. My record speaks for itself. Why is it that I've never been arrested, and he has been arrested? Plus another one. Why? So I want you to, the voters know us, by the way. The issue of bridges, even me, I've put up some semblance of bridges. What is talking of the Nangoli Foundation bridges? They are not bridges. There is no MP in this country who has the capacity to construct a bridge. But because of the pressure from the community, we try to do something. But when you sit here and you say, I did this bridge here and there, we have all done that. I don't think the challenge of the people of Northern Division are bridges. The challenges of our people is joblessness, wealth creation. How do I help you, Canary, a younger person in Northern Division, to start up a business? That's where my focus is. Okay. Not the lies of they stole, they rigged.
Thank you.
That was settled, and I'm ready to take you on. And the voters really know that I'm winning this election.
Thank you. Moses, tarmac coverage. Yeah, you would have time to respond when I come to you in a bit. Let's give a chance to also other people to comment. Moses, tarmac coverage in Northern Division has stagnated for over 5 years, despite central government funding. As a candidate, which specific roads will you prioritize within what timeline?
Thank you, Kandaro. Before I get to that, it's only fair that I also make a small comment in regard to the election aspect. For starters, I will give a context to the problem. The issues we experience in our electioneering sort of dimension are systematic, they are structural, and they are two-way. I will give you a case in point. For example, in the last general election in 2021, the voter turnout was around 57%, give or take. So there is what you call increased voter apathy. There are so many people choosing to stay away from this sort of politics, claiming it's too dirty, it's too gruesome, and they believe it's not worth the struggle. If you asked me, I don't think politics is a dirty game. I believe it's the people who indulge in it who make it to be a dirty game, because we have very functional systems of democracy which are flourishing very well. You may say they may have a glitch here or there, but I believe with us they should increase voter education such that people know their civil rights. That's a huge challenge. It's difficult for you to bring candidates to people who don't understand their rights, and at the same time candidates use that as a way of political expedience or taking advantage of the situation and do whatever they have to.
Is it true that there was military involvement in Mbale City in 2021 election, like alleged here on the panel?
Canary, you were broadcasting this. You are among the biggest broadcasters around. I believe you saw the footages. And I believe you saw involvement not only specifically in Northern Division, but elsewhere. And even as we speak now, I believe you are certain of the fact that as there is heaven and hell, there is still militaristic tendencies ongoing as we are hosting this.
How then do you participate in a process that you have doubts around its credibility?
That's a good question, Canary. I will ask you a simple one. This is my country, right? If I don't do it, who will do it? We face challenges every day. Before, this country was faced with several dictatorships. It took somebody who said, no, this will end, and it ended. In our lands of works, we experienced several challenges. Do you throw in the towel and go away? It's a dirty job. It may take a while. It's not a one-day thing, but it will get done. Because the same people who are creating this mischief, because they took a wrong turn somewhere, they will get a right turn somewhere. They will be spoken to, they will get sensitized, and we shall be on track. I believe we shall be on a proper road one day.
Right. Do you want to respond to the issue of the roads and tarmac coverage?
Yes.
Just 1 minute.
The issue of tarmac coverage, I would like to respond to it this way. The infrastructure development in the general tense of the country has been in regard to they award certain budgets to the local government, and also they award certain kilometer coverage in regard to the lobbying you can make in parliament, in regard to the resourcefulness you have as you. So I will use my function as a member of parliament once I'm granted the mandate to ensure that I partake in those committees which will ensure that I lobby strongly and vividly to ensure that my region, that is Northern Division, gets extensive tarmac. And if you're talking about roads which may require attention, we have a couple of them. We have the Namusi Road. We also have roads inwards within Namabasa. Our biggest challenge is the highways may be okay. The town center, the local government has tried to do a good job, but we have strong issues with the feeder roads. The feeder roads are impassable, they are inaccessible, and they are creating several challenges ranging from failing school-going children to school, and also mothers who are seeking medical attention, unable to attain it on a timely sort of basis. That would be my response, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ivan, you have about 5,000, more than 5,000 children aged between the age of 13 to 17 that are out of school. I'm wondering what education rescue program will you immediately push, especially for these urban poor families?
Yes, we have that big issue. You see, under the national planning priorities of our country, we have emphasis onto the education sector. But we have a full sub-county, actually, which even lacks a secondary school, and that is Namabasa. We have parishes in Namabasa which do not even have a primary school, and yet at least every ward or parish should have a primary school which will encourage these youngsters or pupils to have some education. But now, after they have left that level and go to secondary, they have to walk distances from Namabasa to Nakaloke, to the industrial division, which is too far. And this kills the morale for them to stay in school. And at times, we also look at the morale amongst them, which is so wanting. The teachers are not that serious because of the remunerations and the environment which they work in. And with us, we've, under priority, under our manifesto priority number 4, we have guaranteed this country of quality public services, and among which include education. And we have a clear plan on how to see that we improve the quality and also the willingness amongst these pupils and students to stay in school. For instance, having a feeding program to encourage them to study and all that. But when we enter into Parliament very soon, we're going to have an honest discussion between parents and teachers with leaders in the community on how we can improve the education, just like it was before when we were in primary schools and secondary. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, and now we're going to listen in from the audience. I'm going to ask one question each for, I'm going to mention the names here. You come, just please take 1 minute, mention just the candidate you're asking the question, and ask one question. So Anthony Natif, Aaron Lutale, Eric Mwai, and Muhammad Balamie. We'll begin with those four. Aaron Lutale, Eric Mwai, Muhammad Balamie. Let's just have those people ask the questions.
Please allow me shortwave. Thank you for bringing these guys. These guys are from home, so however tough the question may be, they are my brothers. They will be fine. Now, my name is Anthony Natif. I'm an anti-corruption activist. I was extremely embarrassed to see that 2 of our ministers are facing corruption charges for stealing iron sheets. And now I'm listening to 2 people going at each other, with another younger brother accusing them of, in his words, Ivan Masaba said of Mr. Umar Nangoli and Hudu Hussein that they are both thieves and should be in jail. My words may not be that strong, but I actually want to ask both of you one question, because Hud also went further and accused you, Umar, of land theft and all that stuff, which is seems to be quite on brand. I may remind you, Umar, that in the Mbale Nkoma West land evictions that you probably remember very well in 2014, you worked with a man that you got from Kampala, Sam Omara, to go and evict 167 families, just a second, 167 families from that land, and some of them actually got 33,000 shillings for as compensation for their land, and you never batted an eye. That's 2014 when you were RDC. I would want for you to speak on that because Hood brought it up, but also Mr. Hussein talked about him being spotlessly clean, which I actually want to question in good faith. Mr. Hood, you might remember what we might call the Carrot Gate scandal that saw the president really conduct for the first time, the president transferred 1 RCC when you were taken to Yumbe. You were accused, as you probably know, of creating your own tax system where you were taxing carrot farmers and traders in Kampala. 5 million shillings every week. That information was brought to the president, and he transferred you. Okay. So while that information didn't become public, some of us at Public Square usually dig up such stuff, and I would invite you to speak to that.
Okay. Thank you. In the meantime, Mukwasi Lawrence can also come and ask a question, then Karim, and then Issa. So can we have Aaron, Eric, and Mohammed? State your name. Let's keep it under one question and 1 minute. Thank you.
Aaron Tali is my name. My question will go to Paul Wanyoto Mugoya. The current status of Mbale, we have a system of water that is old, overstretched because of the population growth. Okay, but however, Ministry of Water has constructed another system that is going to boost water in Mbale. But looking at your growing centers, the people of Mbale, Mutua Wansi, and also looking at the vision 2040, what do you intend to do to ensure that that single mother, the widow, the old person has water by the doorstep? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ekibuuzo kyange kigenda eri mukulu Nangoli 2000 Muhammad Balami 2014 Januari yenze y'omu ku baakubwa mu ttaka ne batujjako ebintu byaffe ne batukuba ne batumenyaamenya byonna. Mukulu wali RDC era twagezaako okutuukirira ebiseera bye twatuyamba era twayisibwa bubi era ne tuvaayo paka nasikati tetuli mu ttaka eryo twagenda bugenzi bwa mu kooti engeri gye baatuyisaamu kuba twadduukira mu ofiisi yo twatuyamba abantu 15,000 ne bagenda nga babonaabona. Bw'onaatwala Mbale n'oba MP 15,000 ziri zaakulemesa okujjanjaba nga bali kutuyisa bubi. Kati bw'onaaba MP w'ekibuga kyonna abantu ne babeera mu buzibu obwo onaasobola okubayamba mu mbeera gy'otaatuyamba nga tuli bubi ne tudduukira neewo n'oba nga tokyalabikako. Bye bigambo byange.
Thank you. Twanziza.
Thank you. Thank you, NBS. My name is Marcus Lawrence from Bale. I vote from Nkoma Police Station. My query is going to Honorable Nangoli and Honorable Hudu Hussein. We are not going to track leaders basing on the present. We shall track you basing on the past. And a good leader is seen from the past. Honorable Nangoli, when you had the RDC of Mbale then, you were always not in office. When we needed your services, it was your deputy that did your part. Mr. Hudu Hussein, you talked about wealth creation. When you had the RCC in Kampala, you masterminded the demolition of the Wananchi's kiosks. I don't know whether when you become the MP of Mbale, how you're going to encounter with such issues to help us, since you are representing the Wananchi.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Next, let's keep the questions brief.
Thank you very much. I'm called Moi Eric. I'm a voter from Mukunja Cell, Bale, Namusi. My question goes to Mr. Ivan Masaba. You earlier stated that you won the previous election. However, the army failed your proclamation. So, presumably you win this time round and become member of parliament, Mbale, Northern Division. And you're faced with a scenario in which the same government is still running as your head that you're reporting to. And they come up with a government objective that is in favor of your voters in the constituency, however, is not in line with your party beliefs and personal beliefs. I'll give you an example. Let's say NADS comes in and it's under the same army that failed you previously. How would you go about such a scenario? How would you navigate it? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's have Malinga Charles and Sheila Wagidoso real quick, and then we get back to the panel to be able to answer the questions.
Again? Okay. Amanya Malinga Charles, kibuzo kyange kigenda wa Hudu Hussein. Kiri ku record sebo wali RCC wano wali oyiganya abalokole era abalokole wali oganya barababulira ku street ng'otaddewo sale oyagala baveeko naye nga tomanyire ddala omulimu omulungi abalokole gwe bakola okulaba nti bakyusa abantu okubeera abantu abalungi. Kakati sebo wonaafuuka member of parliament togenda kubega mateeka agagenda otulugunya abalokole n'abakristaayo kuba kirabika tobaagalira ddala mu mutima gwo.
Okay, last one from Sheila.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yes. My name is Wagidoso Sheila. I'm an advocate of the High Court and a voter in Northern Division. My question does not go to any particular candidate. I have heard you deliberate, and my question is, what do you plan to do, or does any of you have any plans of returning Bugisu Cooperative Union back to its original glory? That's all.
Webale nnyo ssebo, Mr. Kanani Mugume. Bampita Kazibwe John. Ndi mutuuze wa Mbale City, era ebiseera ebisinga obungi ndi mulwanirizi w'eddembe eri abantu abafugibwa. Abantu bano be bagenda okutukiikirira bonna nga bwe bazze wano, era buli omu yeegwanyiza. Ekibuuzo kyange kigenda eri Umar Nangoli. Nina ebibuuzo bibiri. Nze nga naakajja mu Mbale City nasulanga mu Indian Quarters. We twayiwanga dumping site ne bajja bagisibako sseŋŋenge ne batugamba nti bagenda kuzimbawo eddwaliro. Abantu ne beekalakaasa, demonstration ne bademonstrating. By that time Umar Nangoli ye yali RDC. I forgotten the year, but I have in my record. Umar Nangoli najja mbirina. Umar Nangoli najja n'agamba when I'm still RDC wano tebagenda kuzimbawo. This is a government land. Right now omusajja yazimbawo ennyumba ate nga waliwo ne gundi eyitirawo, shoreline eyitirawo. Ekibuuzo kyange ekyokubiri kyekyokubeera nti waliwo gundi olugambo olubadde lutambula between Umar Nangoli n'oyo, era n'omusango nina reference ey'omusango. So nti mwami Umar Nangoli, olw'ebigambo bye biteesigika onoosobola otya okukuuma abantu ba Northern ku mbeera gye tulimu nga n'ettaka lino watugamba tebagenda dditwala, era right now baalinyaga omuntu n'azimbako ennyumba? Kye kibuuzo kyange.
Thank you. That's the last one. Let's get to the responses. We'll begin with you, Hud. You have about 2 questions there, actually 3.
Okay, thank you very much. The first question was from my brother Anthony, that the carrot gets scandal. I am hearing about this for the very first time. When I was at RCC Kampala, I think I stepped on so many big people's toes. And for me to leave Kampala, a lot of stories were made. Reports were made to the president. The first attempt was during a certain reshuffle where the body wanted me to leave because I was failing corrupt tendencies, but they failed to convince the president. I even know of a colleague who has proposed to replace me, but it failed. So when it failed, they came up with vigor and a lot of stories, and I think at that time they succeeded. I think I'm learning today that this wrong story could be one of the reasons why I was moved. Personally, I thought it was a normal transfer. And I went to Yumbe. And the president and the team investigated. And when they noticed I was innocent, I was brought back as the RCC of Masaka City. If I was guilty, I would not have gone to Masaka City. So what I can say about the Carrot team is that they have leadership, and they were fighting amongst themselves. And as RCC, sometimes we mediate. I stopped at mediation. When it comes to management, it is KCCA squarely that is charged with the responsibilities of managing such entities. And under the Nakasero leadership, they were managing the Carrot thing.
Okay.
Personally, I'm not aware of anything. And I can assure you, if I was guilty, the president would not have brought me back to Masaka City.
Okay. You might also want to answer the question on the demolition of kiosks and the street preachers.
Now, on the issue of demolition of kiosks, NRCC does not demolish kiosks. There is a KCCA enforcement team. KCCA has a fully-fledged enforcement team. The head is even at a level of either a senior police commander, and they are the ones who enforce if there is anything that needs to be brought to order. But what I can tell you is that that could be part of the stories that were made against me. But I did not participate in any demolition of kiosks. What I remember that I got involved in seriously was the issue of bringing trade order in Kampala, where we had street vendors who were going on the verandas of some of the shops, arcades, and their businesses were failing. And we had a meeting with the president, and he directed to handle trade order in Kampala. And I proposed to KCCA to have the street vendors relocated to Usafi Market. And as I talk, they were given stores free in Usafi Market. In fact, I implemented trade order, guiding the team of KCCA, got the street vendors off the streets, and we gave them free stalls at Usafi Market.
Okay, and unfortunately, we don't have enough time.
And,
if you could
but
answer
now,
the issue of
now
the,
this one is very important, Canary, the one of the preachers. This is one of the issues that I was misunderstood about. I remember I held a press conference at one time in Kampala here at the Uganda Media Center, and that press statement was in writing. I had 7 issues. I had the issue of lighting Kampala capital city, asking the landlords to put lights that are deserving of a capital city, because Kampala was becoming dark. I asked them to also name their buildings, plot this, and also light. I talked about getting the street children off the streets. I talked about getting the street vendors off the streets. You will not find anywhere the issue of the balokole. However, because I said we need to regulate the balokole, because they were putting, I think you would go down there, Nabugabo area, they have these Bizinda laws. You get what I mean? And the traders were complaining. So we had a meeting. I even remember meeting Pastor Serwada, their head, and talked to him, and he handled that issue.
Okay.
But somebody again, because of what I was doing in Kampala, very good work, also used that as an issue.
Okay, thank you.
But I can assure you, I even support the pastors in Mbale, contributing money to the churches. So how would you say I would do such a thing?
Thank you, Hud. For the next speakers, please, we have just 2 minutes to answer all the questions that were put to us, to you rather, because as we do this, we should also be thinking about a question for any of the candidates of your choice, or candidate rather. All right, so Haj Umar, you have 2 minutes to answer the 3 questions that were put to you.
Okay, the first one is, I will quickly respond to what my young brother said. He said the president chased me because of appearing before Bamugemerere.
No, that's not what I said.
That's what you said. First of all, I appeared before, I resigned in 2015. The office of the president has a record.
You were fired, you did not resign.
He has no manners.
Be honest.
He has no manners.
You were fired, you did not resign.
Can you protect me, please?
Be honest.
But you had your time to speak.
He should be honest as a leader.
No. You see, that's why he's facing problems in the constituency.
There is no problem I'm facing in the constituency.
Secondly,
it's you creating that.
Secondly, I participated in 2016 elections. If Bamugemerere had said I don't deserve, if they had ruled against me, how was I nominated? So he's speaking of what he doesn't know. 2, Anthony Latif, I want to tell you that that land which you are talking about was the land which government secured for IUIU. Now, when that transaction was taking place, I was RDC Manafa. Wamara came to implement a directive from the Prime Minister when I was 1 week in office in Bali. I don't know whether you know who is above the other between the Prime Minister and the RDC. It was a directive, and Wamara came directly without even going through the RDC's office. So you are talking about what you don't know. Somebody, Muhammad, I saw Muhammad's name willingly signing for, when they brought a dispute, I saw his name as number 23. He had signed for money. So if you knew you were not supposed to leave the land, why did you sign for money? You wanted to sign for money and then remain in the land. You cannot have your cake and eat it. Kwas Doras says he used to come to my office and I was always not there. What did you come to do in my office and you didn't find me? What did you come to do? What was your problem? You didn't mention your problem. These are people who are planted to ask questions. You see, a mango that has fruits is the one that is stoned the most. So they have ganged around to ask questions which they don't even have a base. What did you come to do in my office and what did I not do for you?
You have 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, because all these questions they just manipulated. They want to ask questions which they don't even know. So I have answered all the questions, okay, even when the questions were fake. Now Kazibwe, you know, he is also planted to ask a question he doesn't know. I asked him where, he doesn't know. Which year, he doesn't know. This Kazibwe man, you don't know. I see he's now trying to remember. So one thing which I want to tell you,
let's be orderly.
You see, they gave instructions. Ignorance is a problem. Ignorance is a problem. He is very ignorant because he doesn't know that the RDC does not appropriate land.
Okay, thank you. I'll move to you, Ivan. I think you had a question on your party beliefs and the system.
Okay, well, he first mentioned again, you see, I've always had this same question severally, people asking about the previous election. Yes, members, it is true I won the election of 2021, but I was not declared. I went to the High Court. Justice Joyce Kavuma was intimidated. She did not write me the judgment. It is instead the people that I took to court that gave me the judgment, the bogus judgment. I moved to Court of Appeal. My lead lawyer was Counsel Peter Walubiri of KBW and Company Advocates. Our issue just resolved around one polling station, which had more than 100% voter turnout. My brother Kanare, we have a big problem called the Chigishwe of voting. People sometimes just sit down and come out with pre-ticking, multiple voting just for an individual at a polling station, and that happened at Makosi polling station. They didn't know that there were individuals who had died, and I had buried them personally. And so I had used evidences of death certificates to court. But then the panel of the Deputy Chief Justice then, Richard Butera, did not look into the cracks of my matter. Instead, I was called to Court of Appeal to receive a judgment, and when I entered court, they told me, they called me by mistake, only to ask me to come a different day. 10 days later we came and they dismissed my case. And I was slapped onto a bill of 335 million. The money which I've been grappling with to pay. And right now I think I'm being demanded something like 60 something million. And I would like to put it across that these same people, recently when I was going to nominate, they called me to court and wanted me to clear up to zero balance. And if not, they wanted me in Maluku prisons for 6 months. So technically they wanted to throw me out of the elections. And the assistant registrar of Mbale High Court Circuit pushed the matter to 11th to 5th of November, the past month. We went to court, and these same crooks came asking me to go to Maluku. They were asking for an arrest warrant, and yet I had taken money. So, to keep it brief, the matter has been shifted to 11th of Feb after elections, and I thank God for that.
Okay.
So, And people who are always moving around and alleging Ivan Masaba stole the election. You see, this has been fashioned to fight the candidature of Ivan Masaba and to also fight the youth who try to come out and challenge the status quo and stand for leadership. And on top of that, these are the same crooks who are trying to fight the National Unity Platform. And I would like to inform you, much as, you see, there are over 5 NRM guys who have come back in this election. And all of them have one script, moving around the constituency. And they have coached their mobilizers to see that they make Ivan Masaba appear evil before any other person. Okay. You get it? So that is it. But I want to guarantee you, guys, all of you who are contesting against me, I swear I'm going to win this election once again and overwhelmingly. Okay. Thank you, Ivan. My brother asked if at all we win. Yes, we are going into a protest vote. It is not just a vote for Masaba Ivan. We are here to change the system. Hear me categorically. We are here to change the system, to have His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi Ssentamu in power and his able MP, Masaba Ivan, in the office of the MP Northern Division. So mark that. And
thank you.
Well, so now when he asked if at all I would work,
time is done. I'll move to you, Paul. I think there was a question on water access.
Thank you, Canary. I understand that my constituency is water stressed. We probably have about only 30% of people in my constituency that can access clean water. I'm also aware that we have 2 water systems that run concurrently. We have the commercial one, which is under National Water and Sewage Corporation. And then we have, it's called the Eastern Uganda Umbrella Water and something sanitation. It's under rebranding. It's rebranding from umbrella to water authority and sanitation or something like that. to the election day. It's going to be business as usual after election day. And I appeal to them to keep peaceful and simply look for votes for their preferred candidates. And they don't have to get into trouble, maiming, beating, threatening other people because other people support other candidates. By and large, the people that I have interfaced with are very peaceful. My own supporters are very peaceful. Ivan's supporters are very peaceful. His supporters are very peaceful. The problem I think we have is the flow from the NRM primaries. That's where the trouble is. So I appeal to my brothers from the NRM primaries to rein in on their supporters or on themselves, to talk to them and guide them to peaceful elections.
Okay.
Because that's where the problem is.
Do you have a question to any of the candidates?
Ivan Masaba here is a good man. I'll ask him a question. Ivan is a good man. He's peaceful. He's not involved in hooliganism like my other brothers. Ivan I've followed him closely. It's natural for you to follow someone you're competing with. And he's been explaining at almost every turn the question of whether he sold the election or not sold the election. Ivan, I want to ask you today, did you sell the election to Seth Wambe de Chizanji, Honorable, or you did not? Please answer that.
Maybe you'll start with this question on your appeal to voters concerning maintaining peace throughout the election. You answer his question and then you ask a question.
To you, our dear voters of Northern Division, you know how National Unity Platform is in matters of advocating for peaceful elections because we are non-violent. But again, being non-violent, we shouldn't be taken for granted. Let us continue organizing ourselves because we are going into a protest vote. Those of you who have not yet joined the team, please come on. Let us continue grouping up, but then peacefully, as I always inform you. Because, you know, the army is up for us. But again, I would like to reaffirm that there is no army which can fail people who are organized. So therefore, you shouldn't back off. Let us know the cause that we have. Because there is no one who is going to come and fight for us as Ugandans. And this is the time the people we are trying to push away. These are guys who are in their evening and they have overstayed their welcome. So I urge you to stay steadfast and we push the narrative. My brother, I did not sell the election. I am still, every day I'm explaining this. Please, my people of Northern State Division, I did not sell the election. That's what I can tell you.
Do you have a question for any of the candidates? Do you have a question for any of the candidates?
No, I would just wish to appeal to these brothers of the NRM. You see, they are so violent, just like their predecessors. We urge you members, don't bring your hooliganism in this campaign. And to be more clear, the other day I was campaigning in Namabasa. I find my brother Hudu, he has a clear program in a different area. Then why should I fight with you? You understand? I was so disappointed, and I think it should not happen again. And another issue is, these two individuals have divided our constituency into those who are from down Northern Division, East and West. And yet we've been living in harmony. And wherever we are having functions, you're causing a lot of chaos, noise, something we don't want as leaders in our constituency. So enough is enough. We are telling you this off on the national TV. At least my elder brother also mentioned it. Let it be that. And let us respect the rules of law. Because we have refused, we should not be bystanders to that. And am I concluding finally fully?
I'll give you a minute, each of you.
Oh, thank you. Because I wanted to
maybe
also
speak your language. It's okay. We'll give you a minute. Thank you. Umar, what is your appeal to voters concerning maintaining peace throughout the election process?
Thank you very much, Kanan. I will start by appealing to my competitors here that let us conduct peaceful campaigns. You see, our followers, the people who support us, they learn from us. So I appeal first of all to my competitors here, plus those who have not appeared here for the debate. Let us conduct a very peaceful campaign. These elections are coming on 15th of January next year, and life must continue. This is not the end of our life. So some of us have ever participated in the campaigns and we are still around. But there are those people who think it's a do or die. I want to appeal to our voters, our supporters. Please, you know, let us not be trained to hoodwink others without any grounds. Let us support our people, because tomorrow I'm going to be your MP. You will even fear to come to me. You don't come here and begin alleging things which have never happened. You see, let us support, tell people what you think your candidate can do for the constituency. That's my appeal.
Okay. Do you have a question to any of the candidates?
Yes, I do.
Please go ahead.
My question goes to my Hudu Hussein, my young brother. Hudu Hussein, I want you to explain before the camera, why does one party, NRM, have 18,725 voters in Bukonde sub-county, and yet the general register for Byabakama has only 8,987. Why is it that one party has more voters than the Byabakama register?
Thank you. Hood, you begin by answering this question on peace. You appeal to voters on maintaining peace.
Thank you, Canary. Canary, voters are largely peaceful people. But the propensity to be violent is normally engineered. Is normally engineered by the candidates. You see, when I talked of checking our records as candidates, I seriously mean it. It is us, the candidates, who ask voters to cause violence. Nobody else. But voters are peaceful. Personally, up to today, I'm still treating some of my supporters because of the violence that my brother here caused during the elections. I even went to police. I took them to Mbale General Clinic. It is us, the candidates. Therefore, as we talk to the voters, we also need to talk to ourselves as candidates, to be honest, to exhibit leadership, to really... I want to agree entirely with my brother Mukone. I think his message, I entirely agree with it. There is Uganda after these elections. There was Uganda before the elections. There is life after these elections. These elections are ending on the 15th, and you need to go back and talk to one another. So I will continue appealing to my supporters to remain focused on vote hunting, okay, and ensure that we take the victory that we are very sure we are taking.
Okay. Do you want to answer Haj Umar's question on the difference between the registered voters of the NRM?
Now, Nangoli here is a very funny guy because I think that question can best be answered by the chairman of the NRM Electoral Commission, Dr. Tango Doi. We have the returning officer, Mbale, or the registrar. Hood does not participate in establishing the number of registered voters. That is an entire process done by the Electoral Commission. So while I'm yet to confirm what he's saying, I want to, if you are genuinely a member of NRM, If you are, and I have reasons why I'm saying if you are genuinely a member of NRM, surely you should go to your party secretariat, the NRM secretariat, or to plot 13, where Dr. Tango Doi sits, and you ask that question. I did not participate. Me, I was an RDC. I resigned recently to contest. I found when there was already a register.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, the question.
Yes.
One time, I think about
the question is to who?
To Haji Nangoli and Paul Wanyoto. It is to my two brothers, Haji Nangoli and Paul Wanyoto. Haji Nangoli one time held a press conference and said that my brother Paul Wanyoto asked him to kidnap himself, such that Paul Wanyoto and his team tell the voter that it is Hudu who has kidnapped Nangoli. That it's on record, video. He said Paul Wanyoto told me I should kidnap myself so that I don't get nominated, so that the blame is put on Hudu. Now that is criminal. Me as a lawyer, as an advocate, it's something I don't take lightly.
Okay, so what's the question?
The question is, my brother Paul, did you actually make such statements? And two, because that came out of, I think they had a negotiation, and it is alleged that Paul gave Umar Nangoli 64 million so that he does not contest, so that Paul can now face Hudu comfortably. You get it? So, Paul, is it true that you also gave Umar Nangoli 64 million shillings?
Okay. Thank you. All right, this debate, of course, continues, and will be also live now on Afro Mobile on NBS Live. Gentlemen, I'll give you, please just use 1 minute, speak to your voters, look at the cameras, and be able to even also use your own language if you wish to. Hud, I'll begin with you.
Masaba mwenayo, sasa Hudu Hussein, flaga beara wenywe, ngana kuire kabiyi, kuba sima. Lwebu wagizi wesi muluku olesa, ka olukuli kukaira, ndikuba lomba mwongere mu busagamani. Mukafugirisa kuba tusakumula mwada. Muyode kalu lumugende inzukunzu. Sese ndukweza, ndikugenda chichalo kuchalo. Erabe nama basana bere yoku kosengolobe. Inakalokena yo nabereyo. Nchigenda. Nibulesi ntulayo. Ndikubigayirira mugeze konti mugende inzukunzu. Kubolere baba atuzi programs zefe. Programs zose mwazimanya, manifesto yose mwagimanya. Ndikuba lomba mufugirise kutereze chisinza chefe. Mwanyala mabi.
Thank you. Haji Umar.
Nasimire nabi omukubirisi welubusana luno ni bamemba bali mugarale ni bakyase besikweze ni nabo ku debate ino ngala kuba sima kunyowa nyenye bakyase muyiwereyo bachefe bakezere kakumanya zisongalo kina bakezere ninga nakukubirisa balebe mwesi bebulebe ngesi nomere kalulu kano kalikweza kazakuwa nefenga batu kukuza kutamao kalulu kakakwawulada kusigale wonyene bere ku kalomba kutyena kaluke kukuza moke kalimu edronga mupiroti ni musharinga points na yo ile ko points biro kuza kubani kubatu mwenda kuza kubani MP mwe mudwera ataza kuba MP we constituency embufu kale kukaleta mu buchayi lwe kaluluda kubanga kalikuza kubomu tax oba kugana kegana kubeni ba MP babirida so kusigasa mu busale let us be kubeba opponents kuleka ko enemies ida mwanyane kutegeresa nasigale Haji Umar Nangoli flaga bearer babatu mwanyana kutegeresa.
Thank you. Ivan?
Well, I would like to first condemn the security brutality being unleashed onto our party president and our comrades who are traversing the country. And I advise that should stop, because this is just a civic activity which we are engaged in, and we would like to come out when we are alive and when we are not in prisons. Era bebusale bembale se Ivan Masaba mpiragu mukisa guno kubabolera nti president weffe alukwezanga zibiri imbale kuza kuba imbale paka nga zine atulewo nga zitano era nimwitegeke zinakuzoza naffe ba national unity platform kwazi declaringire ziri za kuba public holiday era bale maza muliano mukazungazunga nabida mulinde mukulasoka atoni ono mukole kini era ebintu benywe langa kisera kyadabule kuba kube kinano kigu awulire guga era na kindi ngamaliriza mbalomba kugendere hadwena mwabone ndikugenda enzukunzu buli antu nolerewo era mwazi na muli muno mfana yeza kayonye nalomba kalu adenga ke mulio nero menkulu kugendere hadwena kubone kuti kuleta buwanguzi era kubenga kuwangula ngani kwa wangula gamadani ukakola komiste ko abale bano kina kalula boss bakolera omusaka kulu 7 sikulu kudimisa era achomba bolera nganjika kasa kubanga kasokola mistake kwa moto wabo ni yese baza kuza ba reporting then byongere ku kuminirisa kweli so kugendera adwena nasigala Ivan Masaba yese muzakulo na kukifo cha member of parliament ngali 15 mwezi wa January. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Paul, maybe you begin answering the questions and then we'll have you 1 minute.
Thank you, Canary. I plead the fifth. If I respond to Hudu Hussein, it will open a Pandora box that we won't be able to exhaust. So I will not say anything to his question. I choose silence. Reverting to my last commentary or my message to the people, but was say we have Northern Division, mwesi imbasima nabi, mwanyira kungana na semba gana nabi, kusako ngana kuireka biyi, kubolera batu, benna manyonyi bemu aisa teko, babitiramu paka inakaloke. Iti wiki ezai ba Uganda Land Commission baneze mbale kuba na bitu by'eritaka lyo kakungu. Era mubeyo mubalinde na sese nezanga chairman w'eritaka ly'embale na sene abako. Chomwe ni kumanya government yasasule bilioni 3.5 yawere estate yo kakungu siringi balance inabo akale nenga litaka mwikale mugume pawoza kubawona da. Manyala munire kalulu kose naba yetikose munire kalulu kose ndikongobola kugende kuenze kalulu manyana.
Thank you very much. I think Moses, you already said your last statement, but I don't mind being fair to you and giving you the last 1 minute.
Okay, I will also be brief. Batu bemu Northern Division, Sebati Mukone, Moses, Michael, inabalombeti mukume mirembe, inabalombeti kalulu, mukawe birowoozo bisingako bya bulijjo, lwekuba nga yo kadumboti uba waweereyo myaka 5 gyebulamu bwo. Mwaka gudwena gulimo zinaku 365 myaka 5 mulimo zinaku 10825 ukakasoti nga nakuwere mutwalo gukola zinaku zozosizana ukakasoti nga nakulangire wukinire kadodi paka buchoba buzibe imbendi kukuyeda ukakasoti nga nakugulire busala ikumese imbesa na kalulu ko kukumesa dala mulowoozeko mulonde birowoozo mulonde ziteekateeka kuyire kifo kyeffe mumone nasimira.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We apologize for those who are unable to ask questions. I think maybe next time better. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for honoring our invitation. We want to make it clear that we extended an invitation to all the candidates that are standing, and we're glad that the 5 of you were able to turn up. And I'm sure those that are watching and those that are registered voters will make the right choice as they do choose from one of you to lead them as Member of Parliament. Thank you so much for a live audience that has been part of this, and everyone who asked a question. And I wish you all the best. Gentlemen, my name is Kanaram Gumei. Good evening.